Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are doing well. And New York Knicks fans, I know you guys are doing well because we just came out with a W, a huge W, a team that's over 500, a team that people think are going to be contenders this season. They've definitely looked impressive. I understand they have no Jared Allen, but they still have Evan Mobley, one of the most versatile defensive players in the league. They have Darius Garland. They have Donovan Mitchell. They still have studs on this roster. This was a huge W, 92-81 at the Garden. We came out victorious. We had a 5-game losing streak at the Garden. This was a huge W. We just got embarrassed by the Dallas Mavericks at the Garden after being up double digits in the first half. And then before you know it, we're down 31, 32 points in the second half. We get outscored by Luka and Tim Hardaway Jr. when it came to that third quarter. Like, Tim Hardaway Jr. had like 17 points, Luka had 19, and as a whole, the New York Knicks had 15. The New York Knicks look like a different team tonight. There's still things we need to clean up, but I thought we fought extremely hard, and our defense was much better. Yes, you could say the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're one of the best shooting teams in basketball. They just had an off night. Yes, they missed some open shots outside on the perimeter, but I thought the effort was still there when it came comes from the New York Knicks on a more consistent basis. And I saw some changes when it came to Tom Thibodeau. If you didn't know, no Derrick Rose action at all. DNP. I really think we're going to end up trading D Rose and he's going to officially be out. No Cam Reddish at all. That was a huge shock in my opinion. I really don't understand why Cam Reddish got no time at all. I know he struggled last game, but he's been pretty solid defensively. I know he's had his ups and downs, but a DNP really shocked me. And this was an old school, sloppy, grinded out type of basketball game. And I mean extremely sloppy. There was 14 turnovers. 14 travels. Like, there was so much traveling. It's just crazy that these officials have really locked in on that. But there was times I'm like, is that even a travel? They're calling it in big moments. Like, Donovan Mitchell got called for a huge travel when he came in the fourth quarter. But the beginning of this game, both these teams were not really getting much going offensively at all. The Cleveland Cavaliers were absolutely atrocious. They were 4 for 18 early. Yeah, 4 for 18 early. Have it right here. And then you take a look at it in the overall first quarter. They shot 6 for 23 from the field. Donovan Mitchell couldn't get it going. Darius Garland couldn't get it going. And I have to credit our defense. Yes, there was moments I'm like, damn, they're just missing wide open shots. But I thought we were intimidating when it came to the inside. I thought Mitchell Robinson did a very good job, and I thought we were just really competitive there. But it was really concerning that I'm like, this kind of reminded me of the Mavericks game, that they're not capitalizing on these opportunities. Like, the Cavaliers are struggling offensively like the Mavericks were. Yeah, we're up, but we should be up more points if you know what I'm saying. I know eventually we did get this double-digit lead against the Mavericks. Same in this game, but I'm like, eventually they might start knocking them down, but they didn't. And I thought the effort was more there to fight over screens. And I thought there was more communication. There were still moments guys were open outside on the perimeter, but there wasn't as many moments compared to the Mavericks game. I'm like, wow, just no one competed to fight over a screen, or no one even just talked to defend the perimeter. There was a play though that was extremely frustrating, that Randall, for some reason, just always in the paint. Sometimes on defense, I'm like, defend your man. But that just might be Tom Thibodeau's defense, that he has Randall in the paint on defense sometimes, which I really don't understand. But we were up in that first quarter, scrappy game, and we bring in IQ and bring in McBride early. So we take RJ out early when there's like 5-6 minutes left. Same thing with Brunson. IQ and McBride enter the game. I'm like, McBride, interesting. And these guys were one of the main reasons we were up in the first quarter. Quickly did such a great job of manipulating the defense, playing at an excellent pace. He wasn't playing too fast. He wasn't playing too slow. He had nice hesitations, nice change of speeds, working down the lane, nice finishes, soft touch. He was playing solid defense out there. And McBride, who had 0 points, if you watch the game, you see his impact. He is someone that plays at a very high level offensively when it comes to the G League, but his offensive game just hasn't straight up translated at all to the NBA when it comes to the physicality and just maybe more speed, and just the defenses have been better. And he just straight up hasn't been knocking down shots, but he's a pest defensively. Like, he's just getting up in guys' jerseys. He had some nice defensive possessions on Donovan Mitchell. He just brought a spark. He's like a spark plug, and I would love to see him to continue to get minutes. I'm not saying get like 25 minutes or something like that coming off the bench, but I definitely loved his energy. But again, no Cam Reddish. No Derrick Rose coming off the bench. Found that very, very fascinating. But we are up in the first quarter, but it's 23-16. It's a very ugly type of first quarter, but Obi had a very nice pass to Isaiah Hartenstein. Grimes had a nice pass to Isaiah. That's an underrated part of Grimes' game. Grimes is another guy that didn't put up crazy stats, and he had one shot that was really off from the outside. Both of these teams shot absolutely atrocious. Both these teams turned the ball over like crazy. RJ had 5 turnovers when it came to that first half. Like, he was really bad when it came to the discipline side of things. But just the way they were calling travels also, it was just like, it felt like everyone had 5 turnovers. But you could also put on top of that, his IQ wasn't the greatest. Like, why are you dribbling into traffic? There's like 2 people there. He bricked a wide open shot in the corner, or he bricked some shots that were really bad. He tossed up that high arcing float shot that I don't like. It's not a floater, just like a weird push shot. I don't know how to really describe it. I hate when he attempts that because it's such a low quality shot with someone in his hand or someone in his face. Like, RJ was just terrible when it came to that first half. Not much to say really about, like, Julius Randle. He had some buckets, but then he had some low IQ moments that he really over dribbled. Like, you're going to get some good, you're going to get some bad when it comes to Julius Randle. But the first half, no doubt about it, it was IQ, it was McBride, it was the defense that really got after it. The Cavs couldn't buy a 3 from the outside to save their lives. Like, second quarter, McBride has this beautiful alley-oop to Obi, had a nice heads-up play, quickly had this unbelievable, he was like on the block, defense like up in his jersey, ridiculous like off-balance shot off the glass. I believe he hit it off the glass. Like, everything was going in for him. He had a huge bucket when he came to the fourth quarter. I love the way Quickly played because when Quickly's on, he hits big shots in the fourth quarter. He's a momentum-changing type of player when he's on. Because he can have some off nights, but I love watching Quickly when he's really executing at a high level because he plays with so much confidence, and he just plays with such a passion for the game. That's what I really respect about Quickly. But yeah, Quickly's amazing. He's just going off. Brunson was able to go coast to coast. Like, there were some holes in their defense as well. Not having Jared Allen is huge for their interior. But when Brunson went coast to coast, we're up 30-16 because it was a missed shot by Garland. It went like in and out, like off the glass. They couldn't get anything to go. They didn't get back defensively. They're up 30-16. Quickly continues to execute. And the defense is just good. It's playing at a very good level. And maybe just me nitpicking when I'm talking about like certain things, when I'm like, maybe communicate more, rotate over. Like, maybe I'm nitpicking because it's just the defense has been so disappointing this season. But the hustle's there, which I love. Grimes came up with a huge steal in this game as well in the fourth quarter. That it was good help defense. He was barely even looking at the play. He just sensed the pass coming and came up with a huge steal in a big time moment. But there was just so many turnovers. It was just ridiculous. RJ just sucked, to be honest with you guys, when it came to that first half. I'm going to be getting into the second half, obviously, but he had turnovers, but then he also had a very nice dunk in the half-court setting. When he jab-stepped, attacked the basket, he threw it down. That actually put us up 18 points, but then there was another moment that really frustrated me about RJ. We turned the ball over. RJ, I understand he doesn't want to foul intentionally because then they can get a free throw, and the ball, they changed that rule and all that. You can't really have that take foul anymore. They took that out of the game this season. But there was one moment I'm like, damn, he didn't even try to hustle back defensively. Like, this is really concerning. Like, when his shot isn't falling, when he's not finishing at the basket, not making high IQ decisions, and he's not hustling back. I really don't like seeing that from RJ Barrett at all. But there was a huge turning point when it came to that second quarter that before you know it, the Cavs cut it to a 7-point game. We put the starters back in after quickly Obi moving the ball well. When you have McBride like performing very well on defense, just the starters had a different type of energy when it came to not consistently moving the ball, which I really did not like to see at all. Randle comes in, he starts over dribbling like crazy, taking bad shots, not playing as well defensively as the second unit. I'm not going to say he was horrible defensively, but there's still moments that really leave you just extremely frustrated. Garland hits a huge 3. Mobley hits a huge jumper. Because Mobley had this very nice jumper. Randle turns the ball over, and then I believe it ended up being like a Garland 3 in transition. We're taking bad shots. We're starting to become stagnant offensively, which was just extremely frustrating. And before you know it, the Cavs cut it to a 3-point game. So we're up 46-43 at half. Yes, it's 2022. It's the 2022-23 NBA regular season, and it was 46-43 at half. Like, what a weird game when it came to the turnovers. Both these teams being very undisciplined. The Cavs gonna hit the side of the barn. Like, let me see right here. So this is my live reaction to what the Cavs shot from the field. The Cavs shot 34% from the field. They shot 8 of 35 from 3. The Knicks shot worse from 3 though, 5 for 29. The Cavs overall 29 of 83 from the field. 29 of 83. Not much better for the Knicks. 35 of 86, 40%. But both of these teams couldn't hit threes. Both these teams just inefficient shooting the basketball. But the Knicks really were better. But Donovan Mitchell literally was nowhere to be seen. Darius Garland had some buckets, but he was inconsistent throughout this game. Kevin Love couldn't hit shots. There was just frustrating turnovers for both of these teams that you could say both these teams never got into a consistent rhythm offensively because they traveled the ball or they ended up traveling or they just made a stupid mistake with the ball. The third quarter, though, was extremely fascinating because RJ just absolutely turns it around. RJ ended up hitting a huge three. He drove to the basket, but it was a goaltend, and that all happened in 50 seconds of action. And the Cavs continue to not really hit shots. Donovan Mitchell continued to struggle. We're up 8 again. Grimes was just a pest. Grimes was a pest on the defense side of the basketball. Again, Grimes didn't put up crazy numbers, and maybe he's not the starter of the future because we need more upside at that position, and eventually we do need another star. But at the worst, he's going to be a very nice bench player for us, and hopefully his three-point shot can get going again. It's been very up and down. He hasn't played that many games this season, but you see defensively, you see his passing, you just see the ball movement when he's out there on the floor, and I definitely want that three-point shot to start falling. And you even saw like very nice cuts from Quentin Grimes as well. That's an underrated part of his game. He does the dirty work. He just has such a high basketball IQ. So RJ's getting it going because Randall's scoring points, but he's not just playing efficient like high IQ ball, but you're getting the production from the bench. You're getting points from Brunson still, who's playing still a pretty solid game, making solid reads out there on the floor. It's just like we're waiting for RJ to pour it on, and when RJ was getting going, we're up a dozen points again. I'm like, we're in a comfortable position right now, but the New York Knicks uncomfortable. That's not really something you really say every day, but we're playing with energy. We're playing fast. We're starting to really gain a pace, which I did like. Like, we need some type of identity throughout this game consistently so we don't end up throwing this game away. I will say this. We got extremely lucky in one instance when it came to the third quarter when Randall was taking so many three-point shots for no reason. Like, he knocked down 1-3, but then he was like, took another one on like a couple possessions down, then like took another one. So he took like back-to-back threes, I believe, in one trip. One was an absolute brick after he made it. And the Cavs did cut it to like a 6 or 7 point game, but the Cavs just weren't able to get anything going offensively. You can credit our defense, but again, there was moments I'm like, damn, that just rimmed out on them. The rim was definitely not their friend, but you have to give us credit. We were up in their jersey, and their best players just weren't able to execute, which was huge. When Donovan Mitchell doesn't execute at a very high level, and you have Jared Allen out, and Darius Garland isn't playing at an all-star level this game as well, it's going to be very hard for the Cleveland Cavaliers to come out victorious in this basketball game, especially when Jalen Brunson is playing pretty steady. The bench is contributing for the New York Knicks. RJ's getting it going as well. Grimes is doing the dirty work. Mitch, I thought, was a beast on the boards as well and had some very solid defensive plays, and Mitch just hustled his ass off. Like, I love seeing Mitch so far. Like, when it's come to these last few games, maybe the last 5 or 6 games, his hustle, his tenacity on the boards, he's getting better on the defensive boards. There's still some moments that we allow offensive rebounds, but I'm not saying it's fully on him. There's moments that Julius Randle doesn't box out at all. But I remember we allowed like allowed offensive rebounds like 2 or 3 times in a row, but they just like they get an offensive rebound, miss a shot. Get an offensive rebound, clank. Like, they just weren't able to consistently knock anything down. But we still took care of that third quarter, 71-63. So the fourth quarter is extremely fascinating because I love the way that we started off that fourth quarter. Obi had a beautiful cut to the basket. Brunson did a very good job finding him. Brunson made another excellent read in this fourth quarter that I'm going to be getting into as well. But Obi had a beautiful cut. Brunson found him. Hartenstein with the hustle. I thought he played better this game than, in my opinion, defensively. Hartenstein had a very nice tip in. Before you know it, we're up 13 points. Quickly, another excellent finish. The pace he played at, the IQ he played with, I just really loved it. Maybe there was one shot I thought he forced in a moment that we didn't really need that shot, but you could say that for the overall basketball club when it came to the fourth quarter in one instance. So we're up 13 points, but that did not last long. So after the Cleveland Cavaliers were really struggling shooting the three ball throughout this game, Kevin Love, who has a history of killing us, especially the last time we played Cleveland, hits a huge three. You know, I'm like, he hits a three, okay, let's just stop him the next time they come down. But he ends up getting a bucket when it comes to interior, or kind of like a shorter type of jumper. Mitchell hits a three. Before you know it, it's a 6-point game. And the worst case scenario happens. The New York Knicks have a huge huge drought offensively. We don't score for 4 minutes. There's way too much dribbling. We're taking bad shots. And there's moments I'm like, Brunson, why are you shooting it there? You had someone open outside on the perimeter. You're the point guard. You're supposed to be making the wise decisions with the basketball. Be smarter in that instinct. Be more of a leader. And the next thing I'm going to mention, this is when I thought the Knicks were going to throw the game away. So there's 2:40 left in that fourth quarter, and there's travels being called like crazy, which was frustrating for both sides when it came to JB Biggerstaff and Tom Thibodeau. When it came to the travels that are being called or the turnovers that are being called, like some people were just leaving their feet or looking to drive to the basket before they set their feet. And there was one play, Darius Garland had it on the right wing. He leaves 1 foot off the ground. Like he has a nice pump fake, but the 1 foot didn't leave the ground. His pivot foot never left the ground, and Tom Thibodeau thought that pivot foot left the ground, so Tom Thibodeau was extremely frustrated. They don't end up scoring on the possession, though. Like, we would have got the ball, but Tom Thibodeau was extremely pissed off, and a tech ends up being called, which resulted in a free throw for Donovan Mitchell, so it's a 5-point game now. There's 2:40 left in the fourth quarter. I'm like, we did not need it in that moment. Are the New York Knicks really going to blow this game? But good thing, Brunson ends up having a huge bucket, like a huge bucket when it came to mid-range, and I'm sure it felt good for him to make that. So it's a 7-point game again, because, he missed a couple free throws down the stretch, or missed a huge free throw down the stretch. He missed that huge floater against Portland. It wouldn't have went to overtime if he made that. Just like he's missed some big-time shots lately, so he's probably like, yes, Cavs have a huge throwaway. Garland just carelessly throws the ball away. I'm like, wow, that was big time for us. And then Brunson, this was probably one of my favorite plays in the game. In the fourth quarter, that play by Jalen Brunson did a good job manipulating the defense like with his eyes. He didn't telegraph the pass. He just threaded the ball into a very tight window, found Julius Randle inside, just very nice touch on it. And I just love that pass by Jalen Brunson. That pretty much put the game away because it ended up being a 9-point lead. Donovan Mitchell ends up traveling, of course, in a big-time moment, and he's laughing about it. He can't believe it at all. But you have to give credit to Jalen Brunson. Huge pull-up mid-range jumper, huge pass, Quentin Grimes, huge steal. And Mitchell Robinson, he played his ass off. Like, he gave us second chance opportunities with huge offensive rebounds. He saved the ball from going out of bounds to give the Knicks an extra possession so the Cavs didn't get the ball back. But the Cavs shot themselves in the foot. Darius Garland threw the ball away. That Mitchell Robinson save was insane when he was saving it from out of bounds, and Jalen Brunson ended up hitting some game-sealing free throws. And let's see what we could do up against the Atlanta Hawks, because this win really means nothing if we can't string together any type of momentum. Let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.